reputational sa online, lahat siguro ng mga politiko na aapektuhan yan. Kasi meron kayong reputation that to a certain degree is ito yung ginagamit mo for re-election. So pag nasira ka online, which means reputational, napakahirap bumangon. So pag sunod-sunod yung sinasabi, it forms a certain conclusion in the mind of the receiver of the information. Hence, I would say, si Congressman Abante, talagang ang gulo niyan, hindi mo maintindihan kung saan. That is a conclusion arising from fake news.
Is this now true all over the country or only in Metro Manila, for
Sir,
example?
media centers.
Mr.
I would
Chair?
say in media centers because like in Manila, Cebu, Davao, at pwede ho ninyo, sir, na i-geofence ang location kung saan pumutok yung balitang yon, and you can see the relationship of the role of media centers, the high density of users, and the connectivity in the place.
How does that affect, for example, a politician na tinitira sa face ng fake news?
Sir, alam nyo, pag tinira kayo, ang kailangan authentic ang inyong reply. Ang problema ho sa ibang politiko, it takes time for them to react, and by that time, it becomes now the truth. Kunyari, may lumabas na issue ngayon, some politicians would say, I do not want to react kasi pag nag-react ako, lalo kong pinahahaba, pinalalaki yung fake news. Pero kung hindi ho kayo magre-react, that in itself becomes now the narrative, the controlling narrative, which is very, very hard to respond to, especially going into campaign.
So, even if it's fake news, the politician must react.
Yes, sir. As far as I'm concerned, kasi you would want to write what is being said about you online. If you don't, it becomes a crisis for you. It becomes a reputational issue. And that is your currency when you run for public office. Sa political consulting ho, ang tawag doon, that's your brand. So if your brand is destroyed, it's going to be very, very hard for you to increase your trust. Natatandaan po ninyo ito, sir. May awareness, may tiwala. Awareness, pwede kayong universal. Ang tiwala, napakahirap i-earn. Ngayon, pag nakikita, ginawa yung issue sa inyo, sa distrito nyo, uuga ho yung tiwala. At alam naman po ninyo, ang tiwala, in a 45-day campaign period, mahirap pong ma-rebuild. It will take time for
Pero ang paniwala ng iba, Ms. Malu, when you react, you become defensive. Kanina, nabanggit mo na you have to be offensive on this, di ba?
Sir, kasi sa akin, the best defense is offense. And when you just say, when you be your authentic self, you're opening yourself, ito ako hindi totoo yan. So kung hindi nyo sasabihin hindi totoo yan, ang mga constituents nyo will always say, tinan mo, nagnakaw yan. Tinan mo, yumaman yan. Very hard to control. Especially during a very heated 45-day campaign period. Wala na ho kayong chance to clear that out. So bago pa mag 45-day campaign period, sinagot nyo na. And then you can reshare that. Then you can, push it and make it viral.
So, Mr. Chair, kailangan sa online din, kailangan gumamit.
Yes, sir.
Kailangan gumamit ka din ng vlogger.
Yes, sir. Hindi, sir. Pwedeng ikaw na sa sarili mong page.
Ganon.
Oo, kasi yun yung authentic self mo Kung pag ginamit mo sa mainstream media, it becomes fodder for news. Lalaki yung issue. 'Di ba? Pero kung sa page mo lang sinagot mo yan, hindi totoo yan.
Oo.
Ito ang aking pag-aari, ito ang aking paniniwala.
So it is not enough, for example, like sa SOCMED, fake news. Hindi naman kinukuha ng mainstream media yan. So, it's not enough na hindi ito kinukuha ng mainstream media sapagkat hindi naman totoo yan, di ba?
Yes, sir. Kasi forever nandyan yan. May footprint nung negative reaction sa'yo. So you really have to, kung minsan nga, katulad ho nung exchanges kanina, yung pala 3 years ago pa yung video. So it remains there. And if you don't respond, then it becomes truth. Kaya nga ho, kanina ang sabi ko, in politics, there are shades of truth.
Thank you. That's quite a
Thank you,
revelation to us.
Ang problem doon na Congressman na Abante, na nakikita ko diyan kasi halimbawa lumabas yung content mo na gano'n. Tapos ayun na meron naman na makita tayo ng mga bots, reaction na. Mga reaction, heart, lahat 'yon. Eh kung bots nga 'yon, artificial intelligence and bots. So, yung explanation mo, mababarage na naman siya ng mga messages na biniyaran nila. Eh like for example ngayon, target ka, target ako. Target tayo lahat. So, babarage nila yung ano mo yung content mo Ang maganda lang pag Facebook mo, pwede mo silang i-block. But yung kapag na-share na nila yun, tapos babarage na naman nila ng bots, lahat ng messages na naman, ayun na. Yun ang problem. And that, where the, CICC will come in. Di ba? Ma-dig deeper yung source. Di ba, CIC, if I may, Congressman, kasi may may konting traction doon sa sinasabi mo. Sa CICC kasi, kaya nyo yung makita yung source ng mga gumagawa ng mga bots. Di ba? And by doing that, that is false information and not subject to freedom of expression. Kasi nga bots So madali yung makita lang natin yung pinaka-source sino yung mga gumagawa nito.
Sir, just to qualify,
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, Mr. Chair, and I think it's the same for all law enforcement agencies here. What we can see is similar to what Facebook sees. So yung age nung time, for example, bagong account ka. Pangalawa, yung trending pattern ng account. At saka, kumbaga sir, they're all circumstantial. Nakikita mo na bagong account, multiple accounts, same postings, tapos yung behavioral pattern mo is mabilis kang mag-respond. Then malamang, bot ka. Tapos ang followers mo inorganic. O pwedeng either bumili ka ng dating page, tapos
Na may laman na.
may laman na, tapos binago mo lang para yung likes mo, yung likes ng lumang page nandoon, or talagang walang like yung page mo, pero pag ganun po kasi sir, malamang ma-detect ka rin ni Facebook, matatag ka rin, matatanggal ka rin kasi may automatic feature din si Facebook. So the same way sir, and this is available to any Filipino by the way, the statistical the analytics of social media is actually publicly available. So this is something that we are looking at. So circumstantial siya, we don't see actual bots, but we see that's too fast for a human.
Yeah.
And you don't have organic likes, and you're too many. So, yun po.
Exactly. So, mixture Mixture siya Kaya, ang hirap mag-rely lang doon sa, pag nakita mo yung post mo, tapos andyan na yung banat sa'yo, ang dami na. So, ika-classify mo siya kung siya'y bot, ika-classify mo siya kung siya'y organic na binili.
That's correct.
Tama yun. At meron pa tinatawag na troll farms. Iba pa yun.
Tao yun.
Na talagang meron silang page na, halimbawa, 2,000 owner ng page. Yun ang babanat sa'yo. And that costs you a lot of money. Kasi babayaran mo yung grupong yan.
That's correct, Your Honor. And let me add, Your Honor, that actually all of this that we are discussing right now is a violation of the terms of use of the social media platforms. Wala lang sila to...
Ang tanong ko
wala lang sila to
ganito,
explain.
what
Sige.
can the CICC do? For example, like kami, maraming fake news na dumarating for us. Hindi naman totoo yan. Okay, para lang i-harass, no? I-harass o i-bash. So, what can the ICC do to at least protect us, for example?
Your Honor, we have been involved with the social media platforms, but absent of regulation, this is purely voluntary. In taking down a lot of fake accounts that have been involved in targeting key officials of government, especially the President. Marami na po, siguro mas maganda kung sila na yung magpaliwanag. There are, as far as we're concerned, there are tens of thousands in the past year that was just removed. Walang nagrereklamo because they're really bots. They really were illegitimate accounts. Some are being held as multiple accounts by legitimate people, etc., etc. And I think that's the first one. We don't look at certain personalities, but we just look at patterns. And second, Your Honor, as I mentioned, if it is really a viral thing that threatens national security or threatens our way of life, our culture, nandiyan naman po yung buong CICC Council. There are, for specific laws like OSAIC, automatic po yan, take down yan. Automatic na, kasi ano yan, child pornography, and according to the law, dapat i-block eh. Yun nga lang, we have to understand as we presented, Mr. Chair, pag ang pinag-uusapan na natin, cyber libel, o yung kanina, yung satirical content, but obviously flagrant, because it was AI generated. Pero inamin naman niya, you know, I do AI for satirical, medyo mahirapan din kami pong mag-respond unless a formal complaint is filed, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Chair, there's a, meron kayong gustong sabihin kanina?
Please, Mr. Chair, just to address the earlier question of Congressman Abante about fake news. From the perspective of academics, educators, and fact-checkers, ayaw na po namin gamitin yung term na fake news kasi, pero ang fake news po na term yun ay colloquial na po. Pero ayaw po namin siyang gamitin kasi na-politicize siya, parang ginagamit siya na pang-akusa sa tao na nagsasabi ng impormasyon na ayaw natin. So sa amin, we want to focus on the term information disorder. Kaya doon po pumapasok yung tatlong bilog na pinakita kanina ni Professor Can na tinuturo din po namin sa mga students namin sa UST, no? So yung kaibahan ng disinformation, misinformation at malinformation. So sa dis and misinformation, ang pagkakaiba lang po nun ay merong intention to mislead or harm. No, kapag misinformation, nagkamali lang po. No, kagaya po siguro kanina yung issue ni Congressman Marcoleta sa mga broadsheet, baka nagkamali lang ho, honest mistake. Misinformation po 'yun, walang intention to cause harm or confusion. Yung disinformation, yun po, may malicious intent po 'yun. Yun namang malinformation, medyo controversial pa po itong term na to, but what it means is yung information ay information ay nagsisimula po sa totoo pero minamanipulate po siya in such a way that can cause harm. Yun lang po.
Sa inyo, laganap ba to sa buong Pilipinas o dito lang sa Metro Manila or urban areas, for example?
Laganap po siya sa lahat po ng may access sa social media. Potentially ay magkaroon po sila ng exposure sa information disorder.
Okay. All right. Disinformation, misinformation, and malinformation. Now, itong misinformation, medyo tatanggalin mo yan sa tinatawag nating fake news, di ba?
Opo. Kasi wala pong masamang intensyon, honest mistake, no? Malamaring nakalimutan lang o talagang human error.
Therefore, yung disinformation saka yung malinformation, merong ano yan, merong violation yan ng batas.
Yan po ang focus ng mga fact-checkers, ng mga academics, ng mga regulators, no? Yan din po ang focus ng content moderation.
Ms. Malu, mayroon bang violation sa batas niyan? Sa media practitioner tulad mo?
So, media practitioner. So, sir, kasi op-ed ako eh.
Ha?
Opinion.
Sige,
opinion
okay.
column.
Kahit na ganun. When disinformation and malinformation, do you think that there is violation sa batas natin?
Yeah.
That they can be charged in court?
Yes, sir.
Meron, ha?
Kasi willful and maliciously eh.
Okay. How about the other bloggers, for example? Can we have you answered on this, Mr. Chair?
Pwede pong ma-repeat yung question, Mr. Chair?
Nag-raise ka ako ng hand, di ako tinatawag.
Regarding po sa fake news?
Yeah, tungkol sa fake news and then the disinformation and malinformation.
Opo, definitely po cyber libel pwede pong yung pag disinformation, malinformation, kung ang purpose talaga ay mag-mislead ng tao para masira yung isang tao, yung isang kumpanya, definitely po pwede po yun sa cyber libel.
Now, kanina, yung sagutan ni Congressman Marcoleta sa ni attorney tungkol sa Congressman Marcoleta said na medyo malicious ang scenario mo, no? Sa'yo, do you think that would be malinformation? Mr. Saan pangalan to? Gamboa? Is that malinformation? To inflict harm on a person? Is that not
Yung kanina po,
malinformation?
yung kay Congressman Marcoleta,
Yes.
wala na po ba siya? Wala na siya. Hindi, kasi si Attorney Ricky, Mr. Chair, was stating his opinion. Tingin niya, nilinlang daw ni Congressman Marcoleta yung mga follower, yung mga certain group of people. So
it is not to inflict harm on a person. Is it? Yung binanggit niya na, ano yung binanggit niya na nanlilin lang? At ano pa yung binanggit?
pakulo.
Pakulo lamang ito ng panlilin lang. Naniniwala ba kayo na hindi ito malinformation where he used that to inflict harm on a person or inflict harm on a person's reputation or character?
I don't think may intention si Attorney Ricky na sirain yung pagkatao directly nitong si Congressman Marcoleta. I don't think
Even
siya personal na
directly. Ibig sabihin, indirectly, meron siya.
Opo, pero he was reacting doon sa specific moment na yun na sinasabi niya kanina. So, yun po yung, hindi ko po alam kasi siya po yung nagsabi. Pero sa tingin ko po, wala naman siyang
Sige. Let me ask, you're raising your hand. Go ahead.
I'd also like to build po on what Ms. Ellen Tordesillas said earlier. Now, we fact-check statements of fact. No? So, if it is mentioned or if something is uttered as an opinion, I don't think the qualifications of the information disorder, the mis, dis, and mal, can be used to describe it. No? So, it must be a statement of fact for it to be fact-checked. No? And also,
So what do you think of what attorney said on about Congressman Marcoleta? Do you think it's a malinformation?
again, Mr. Chair, I think the qualifications of mal, dis, and misinformation cannot be used in opinion.
Therefore, you would, as I understand now, that opinion, all right, and malinformation should be well defined, is it?
Yes, yes, Mr. Chair.
Well, Ms. Malu, would you please
Miss.
also answer that if you can?
Sir, yung sinabi ni Attorney Ricky, I would classify it as a value judgment. Pero mahirap value judgment.
Value.
Value.
Value, dahil sa kanya yun ang value set niya na nag-conclude siya na nanlilin lang. Pero uttered to a politician, nag-iiba yung kulay kasi pag sinabi mong ikaw ay nanlilin lang, it goes to trust. Kaya,
You were saying, Ms. Malo, that we should react, Mr. Chair, no? We should react whenever there is a fake news that is blatantly being spread on us, okay? Now, is that not being onion skin?
no sir. Kasi you just want to establish the facts. There are several tools where you can check whether there is an organic push or a push against you. There are several listening tools. I don't know if the good undersecretary. There are several listening tools. One of which is Meltwater, Ubermetrics, Brand 25. keywords. The system will monitor, and if it is an authentic one, you will not see all dark ones. You will see several nodes going to several outlets. But if it is being pushed, there'll be several dark nodes and everything is going back and forth. That is an operation online. And there are existing applications that any legislator can use just to see whether it is organic and whether it is authentic.
Attorney Ricky, would you want to react on that, Mr. Chair?
Yes, Mr. Chair, Honorable Congressman Abante. Ako po kasi, never po akong nagmumura, never po akong nambabastos. Sa 9,000 vlogs ko, videos ko, wala po akong minura, wala po akong binastos.
Pantanong ko ganito, kayong dalawa vlogger kayo, di ba? Kayong dalawa vlogger kayo, di ba? So, nabanggit mo kanina, Atty. Ricky, na yung bang may mga bayaran na vlogger. Naniniwala ba kayo ron? Merong mga vlogger na bayaran.
Mayroon
Ang
po.
intention nila na sila ay magkalat ng fake news. Sapagat binayaran sila.
Mr. Chair, Honorable Congressman Benny Abante, sabi ko po kanina, yung mga vloggers na maraming views, maraming engagements, malaki na po ang monetization niyan sa social media. Hindi po sila naghihintay na ng bayad. Ang isa pa nga po pala to sa gusto kong i-share sa honorable members ng committee nito, ang kailangan parusahan yung nag-co-coordinate ng mga yan. Kasi mayroong mga taong nasa likod niyan.
Pero, Atty. Ricky, hindi natin nakikita yung hindi natin alam o nakikita yung nasa likod yan eh.
Yun na nga din.
Oo, yun ang mahirap doon. Ang binabagit mo sa amin, Mr. Chair, yung imposible mangyari. Sapagkat hindi namin nakikita yung nasa likod yan eh. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, yung nakikita namin, ang bibigyan namin ng ano yan. Sabi ni Miss Malu, na dapat kami mag-react dyan. Anong reaction ang dapat gawin? Dapat ba namin i-complain yan sa CICC o magdemanda kami diretso para malaman nila ang ginagawa nila ay masama?
Mr. Chair, ako po, agree po ako sa sinabi ni Ma'am Malu Tikia. Kailangan po ninyong sagutin yung mga issues na inaano sa inyo, na nire-raise. Pero kung talaga namang malicious, talagang kasuhan nyo po, kasi yan po naman ang nasa batas natin. Kaya lang nga po, ang sinasabi ko kanina, based on jurisprudence, kaya lang pag kayo po yung nagkaso, magpuprove talaga kayo ng actual malice. Hindi tulad sa private, kasi presumed ka agad yung
Ay,
malice.
hindi mahirap yung mag-prove, Mr. Chair, sapagkat may mga pictures eh. May mga pictures, may mga salita. Yun, ebidensya na yun eh. Ang
Yes,
problema lang yan, malaking pera gagamitin mo dyan.
Yes po, Mr.
That's it. At ang sabi ni Ms. Malu, hindi na kami kinakailangan gumamit pa ng, for example, or media reporter o a vlogger to attack, no? Ganun din ba ang paniwala mo dyan?
Yes po, Mr. Chair. In fact, ako po, kami dito na mga nanditong vloggers, kami ang nagtatanggol sa inyo sa Quadcom. Sa kasab dito nung binuotong Tricom.
Salamat po,
Marami po kaming nakakalaban na mga vloggers. Actually nga, kung dumating lang sila dito, siguro nagkaharap-harap kami. Pero kami po, nasa pag-defend sa inyo. Kaya lang, dahil nga po, may mga times din na nagko-comment din kami sa inyo. Halimbawa, yung tungkol sa impeachment, sabi na, ba't ang tagal nito? Parang naduwag na yung ang gagaling nung ginawang investigation sana eh. Sabi, suportado ng tao, ang taas nga ng survey in support sa Quadcom. Sabi ko, ba't ngayon parang, parang hindi na desisyonado? So, honest opinion po yun. Yun po yung gusto naming ipakita na kami, yung vlogging na totoong expression ng opinion.
Maraming salamat sa inyong suporta, no? At sana suportahan niyo pa kami.
Yes po, Mr. Chair.
Di ba? Sapagkat nagiging malinaw ang ginagawa ninyo laban dun sa mga talagang, ang inaano ko lang, ganito no? Ano ba? Bias di ba? Kaya sila nag-ano ng fake news because they're biased, di ba? Now, you look at yourself. Palagay nyo kaya, hindi kayo biased sa inyong mga opinion?
Mr. Chair, talaga namang ang isang vlogger, mayroon talaga siyang bias. Ang masama lang, yung nagre-resort ka na nga sa fake news, halimbawa nga, yung pulburon video na yan, tapos yung mga ano sa inyo po, yung mga issue sa inyo, obvious kasing fake news yun, hindi na lang yun opinion talaga. Kaya, pero yung pagiging bias, tulad namin, may mga stand kami sa issues, ano po yun tama lang yon sa isang vlogger na talaga namang may standpoint ka. Ang hindi lang tama, yun ngang nakikita rin namin na maraming linalabas na mga informations na hindi na totoo. Hindi na po siya, hindi na yan pagiging bias lang. Talagang may malis na sa ginagawa na...
For example, may vlogger na kumuha ng picture ko sa Facebook ko na ako'y nakadila.
Mr. Chair, nakita ko po yun.
Nakadila, no? Diba? Kanina, nakadila ako.
Pwede ba nga
Totoong picture yan. Totoong picture yan. Talagang, kasi, inaakala ko, lahat na sa Facebook ko, kaibigan ko. Ano? At ako'y ordinaryong tao, hindi ako maarting tao. Ang ginagaya ko dyan, si Albert Einstein. Kasi gusto ko rin maging genius. O, kinuha nila at ginamit nila yan. Yung ba'y masasabing fake news?
Yusek, siguro the best person to answer is the ICT.
Oh, sige. Si Ayuzi.
Mr. Chair,
kayo muna.
i-redefine ko lang po yung diniscuss din ng mga academicians natin kanina. Kasi this is actually an academic term. Misinformation, okay na yan, okay na po tayo. Both disinformation and malinformation imputes malice. Disinformation is mali talaga. Inedit yung muka, inedit yung narrative, wala talaga yon. Ibig sabihin, nag-imbento. Ang malinformation, sir, yung halimbawa ninyo. Kumuha siya ng totoo, pero binago niya yung context. Kaya tinawag na malformed. So, kumuha po siya, halimbawa po, nanghiram ka po ng paneray. Kunyari, pare, ganda ng paneray mo. Pahiram nga. Pagsuot, pinicture ang kata, sinabi, kita mo yan, corrupt yan, nakapaneray. Parang ganun po example. Tinanggal yung context para ma-mislead yung tao. So, that is an example of malinformation. So, it is fake.
So, having said that, no, kasi ako, tinawag ako ni ng Mr. Google ang narrative ko sa Mr. Google, nakarelate ako dyan Ayoko na sanang buksan to Pero during that time, ang premise ko doon, lahat naman tayo gumagamit ng mga search engine Ako gumagamit ako ng Brave Search. Saka yung DuckDuckGo. Kasi yung mga yan, hindi ka matatrace. Marami akong search engine na pinupunta, Wikipedia. Tapos meron pa yung Swiss Cows. Yung mga yan, hindi ako matatrace doon. Google, kaya ako lang siya ginawang example, popular siya. Popular siya Kaya in-example ko na kapag nag-search ako ng mga jurisprudence, talagang tinitingnan ko sa Google, lumalabas. Di ba? Pero ang content na sinabi ni attorney Attorney Topacio, ang sabi niya is hindi mo na kailangan pa mag-aral ng law pa. I-google. Ha?
Topak? Attorney Topak?
I-google mo na lang. Hindi ako nagsabi niya, ikaw yan I-google mo na lang. Baka sasabihin, nagtatago na naman tayo sa, well, it's wrong. It's malinformation. Dahil nga, ang katotohanan, nag-google ako. Sino bang hindi nag-google? Sino bang hindi gumagamit ng mga search engine? Di ba? Masyado ka hipokrito pag sinabi mo hindi ka nag-google. And then, ang connotation niya, ayan, si Mr. Google, kailangan, hindi pwede ka nang hindi mag-aral ng dahil nga mag-practice. Hindi ko sinasabi yon. Ang lawyer must undergo the tedious na pag-aaral and yung practice para maging, ka talaga, expert ka. Hindi ko sinasabing expert ako. Sinasabi ko, meron tayong mga bagay na pwede malaman sa mga search engine. So, ano yun? Malinformation?
Yes, sir. They use the truth and then change its context. So, it is malinformation. Pero mas madalas ginagamit po yung malinformation. When it was originally coined by a blogger in Canada named Hussein, ginamit niya yun originally sa revenge porn. Halimbawa,
Sa what?
revenge porn.